into the team news going into the game this weekend.
Yeah, so we've obviously the players who are still unavailable. You got Romero, Van de Ven, and Solanke. Albeit he did say Romero, Van de Ven could be and Solanke, all could be 2 to 3 weeks away. He did say on Romero and Van de Ven specifically that their return could be imminent. And in terms of Van de Ven, he's being very careful with him. They're taking a different approach and even getting external advice on Van de Ven as to how to manage his current situation. In terms of Romero, his quad is kind of recovering slower than usual, so he's going to be unavailable, but maybe he could be back soon. But on positive news, Maddison, Udogie, Vicario, all available for selection this weekend. He said Maddison has returned quicker than expected, so he's going to be available for Sunday, even with a view to start, because he's been out for less time than some of the other players. Vicario has been back in training for a while, so I'm expecting him to be back in the team. And Udogie as well is available for selection. He said Brennan, Werner and Odebear are all training with the first team. And in terms of Brennan and Brennan specifically, he could be back for this weekend. It's about how quickly he can recover, but more likely next week. So with Odebear, he said he's going to be very careful with him because he's been out for a while, but he's back training with the team. And obviously Timo Werner is back on grass as well. So there is a lot of light at the end of this tunnel when it comes to kind of players coming back. He didn't mention any more injuries when it comes to players who played last game. And one other one, Richarlison, he said is going to be a similar time frame to Brennan and Maddison, which is between 2 and 3 weeks, which is fairly positive considering when Richarlison was last out, he was out for 3 months. So because he got injured in that Villa game and only returned for I can't remember what game he returned for. Everton game, was it? Yes, that was about 2 months, 2 to 3 months.
The week before Everton, wasn't it?
So, let's hope Richarlison, we'll see him again this season.
Yeah, I think his first game was that European game that he scored in, wasn't it?
No, he scored against Everton. Did he score in the European game?
Was it not the European? Or maybe that was when he first came back scoring that penalty. I can't remember.
No, that was
the first time he came back.
That was the first time he came back.
But look, let's get into this predicted lineup. 4-3-3 as always. In goal, I do think it's going to be a return for Vicario.
Yeah, I think so as well. Obviously, we know he's a leader in the group. We've seen him he said he's been training with the team for the last 10 days. He said he's been training separately for about 3 weeks. So we know, I think as well, you have into account Kinski had an error last game. Albeit he still had a pretty good game and kept us in the game. But I think Vicario is going to be a welcome return, and he's our number one still. So I think he's going to come back into the team here.
Yeah. It was actually Arsenal the first game. Richarlison came back. That was the game. But anyway, back four is going to be interesting. I think with Udogie being back, do we throw him straight back in? Do we give him some minutes off the bench? I do believe we'll probably give him some minutes off the bench.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll return straight into the team straight away.
So I would say Porro at right back.
Yeah, Porro keeps his place. You've got to remember as well, they have had a week break. It's not the same situation as been going over the last 3 months, where it's been Thursday, Sunday. This is the first time we've had a week. So most players who played last week, they should be all right to kind of have a better performance than maybe they would have been in other scenarios.
Yeah, you'd hope so. It's their biggest rest period for a long time, probably since before December, which is mad to think about it, but it doesn't take out from the fact that they are just exhausted at the moment and they might even need more rest. But look, Pedro Porro comes in at right back. At left back, we'll see Jed Spence as well come back in, who's been probably one of our most, if not our most consistent performer over this period.
Yeah, he was also fantastic against United in the Cup, wasn't he, when he played back in December. So I think Jed is probably the most probably player at the moment, but definitely fullback. So if Udogie comes in, I do expect Jed to keep his place and put Jed at right back. But I do think it's just a bit too soon for Udogie to come in from the start. So we're going to put Jed, keep his left back, and maybe with a view of Udogie coming on for the last 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, I would like to see what it would look like to have Jed Spence at right back and to have Udogie at left back. I think it could be a really good and interesting dynamic to have.
People are saying it'll hark back to the Walker and Rose days.
Yeah, because I do feel like that, because they've just both got that physicality to get up and down, where Porro as much as I love Porro and I love his ability on the ball, he just doesn't have that kind of physical element to him.
I agree. I think Porro's still our best on the ball.
Yeah,
fullback.
absolutely.
But I also feel like there's a part of me that feels like, imagine Porro coming on for the last 30 minutes against tired legs, where he could really give his all energy-wise for those 30 minutes and have that ability on the ball. Whereas when he starts games, maybe by that part, he's kind of tiring and he maybe more easily caught. I know he got caught in the first minute last game, but maybe he's more easily caught in that period. And I think he can be more of a threat in those moments rather than kind of in the first part potentially. Like I've seen Trent come on in games. I know he usually starts, but I feel like Trent's actually better when he comes on.
Impact,
when he comes on like 20 minutes, because he doesn't get overrun because he's got that energy to really go full pelt for those 20 minutes. Whereas when he starts games, he can get caught out a bit more.
No, I completely agree with that. In terms of centre-backs, right centre-back will be Kevin Danso. 2 performances so far in a Spurs shirt. I think he's done well, but yeah, I'm not 100% convinced of him just yet.
Yeah, I think he's an upgrade on Dragoshin, but he's still a downgrade on Van de Ven and Romero. Yeah. I think that's fair to say. And I think he's more suited to the game than Dragoshin. I also think he's probably more of an upgrade on Davis as well. I do think he's got to calm down sometimes when he's on the ball. He rushes his pass sometimes and overhits it. I think once he gets a bit more composure, I think he's got the assets to be a really good centre-back. Does he have the quality to be that top level? I don't know, but he's aggressive. He can really, I think he fits the system. He's done some really good things, but I also think sometimes he's a bit of a bull in a china shop. He needs to calm down a bit sometimes.
The thing is, I don't know about you, but I mean, I thought against Liverpool he really surprised me, and I thought he looked really good in terms of being that wall at the back. And I know we conceded 4 goals that game, but he was one of the better ones. And I felt like he did such a good job in terms of putting his body on the line, being really aggressive. But he didn't have too many opportunities on the ball. But, you know, when he did get those opportunities, I think he did it pretty well. But against Aston Villa, you know, we tried to dominate the possession a bit more. And I just felt like he looked a bit uncomfortable on the ball against Villa.
It depends. In certain situation, yes, in certain situation, no. I think when he's being rushed and he's being asked to like play out the back when people are pressing him, I think he can rush his passes sometimes. And there are moments for sure where there's a pass in behind and he plays it and it's just overhit and it's not good. But there are some times where he looks really confident striding into the middle and he's almost looking like a midfield player at times. And he's like playing little quick interchanges. Like, okay, he can be comfortable on the ball. So I think maybe it's an adjustment period in as well. I just think the way he plays, he kind of plays at 100 miles an hour sometimes, and sometimes he just kind of rushes things, and you just need that, maybe a bit of Romero, just that composure on the ball, just to put your foot on it and slow it down a bit.
Left centre-back is an interesting one. Obviously a toss-up between Archie Gray and Ben Davis. I do feel like he will side with Ben Davis.
I feel like he'll side for Archie Gray.
Why do you feel that?
Because I feel like I reckon he feels like Gray's earned his spot, and I feel like he feels like Gray has really done such a great job for the team over the last few months that he will feel like he doesn't want to take him out of the team right now, and I don't see him putting him in field right now with the midfielders we have available. So that's probably why I feel like he played him against Villa. To all honesty, I feel like he feels Gray deserves to play. And I feel like he will go with him. I feel like he'll play him.
Yeah, I mean, just the thing is that Gray has just played an unbelievable amount of football over since December, and he's always talked about, you know, nurturing these kind of young talents. And Ben Davis didn't get the start against Aston Villa and hasn't got as much football in his legs as Archie Gray. So I just feel like just get Davis in, give Gray a little bit of respite, and potentially look to start him in the next game.
Yeah, I always feel like that, and then the team comes in and Gray's starting again,
yeah.
And I feel like he's going to do it again. I feel like he's going to say.
But Villa's the only game really where we've had the option to give him a bit of respite, and he didn't do that. To be fair,
well, Liverpool.
What was the situation against Liverpool?
He dropped Porro.
Oh, he dropped Porro, yeah, but as well, he's probably one of the only ones that's played more minutes than Gray.
I know, but I feel like he trusts Gray right now. Like he really believes that he deserves his spot, and I feel like that's why he's playing.
He does deserve his spot. There's no doubt about it. Of course he deserves his spot. He's been brilliant for us. But as an 18-year-old, with the amount of minutes that he plays, I just think it makes sense.
No, I agree with you, but he's now had a week break.
Yeah.
So I I'm saying I would probably play Davis. I feel like he's going to play Gray.
I feel he's going to play Davis, but
All right. So I mean, if we want Davis, so we'll put Davis in. But I actually just feel like he's going to play Gray.
well, all will be revealed at on Sunday. But we are going for Ben Davis at the back with Pedro Porro right back, Jed Spence left back, Dan So and Davis in the centre back
Now it
positions.
gets a bit interesting because we do actually have options here in this
We
midfield.
need to put Davis into centre back.
Oh, sorry, I didn't save it.
So in the midfield, in the 6, so there's Bissouma, there's Bentancur.
So as a 3, there's basically we actually have all our midfielders fit, don't we? Who's injured in midfield? No one.
Well, yeah, everyone's fit. Madison's back, Kulusevski's there. Everyone's fit. Yeah.
Bergvall, yeah. So he actually has options and a choice to make.
In terms of, we'll start off with the base of the midfield. I do think it's between Bentancur and Bissouma.
Yes.
Bentancur obviously has had shockers in the last couple of games.
Bissouma played quite well against them in the League Cup. But
Bissouma
then,
came on against Villa and actually done well for the initial part.
I remember at Old Trafford, Bentancur, I think, played, didn't he? I think he was quite good.
I feel it's going to be Bissouma
You reckon it'll be Bissouma?
Yeah.
Why do you think Bissouma? I was going to say Bentancur.
because I just think Bentancur has been shocking the last couple of games, and I think Bissouma probably deserved the start over him.
And I thought Bissouma was even worse than him.
You think so? I think Bissouma, he came on and initially and did really well in those. When we were on top, I thought Bissouma was playing really well.
Yeah, fair. I say against Villa, that's fair. But I thought, again, when they both started at Anfield, I thought Bissouma... I mean, they were both bad, but I thought Bissouma was just a bit worse. But, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it will be Bissouma. Maybe it'll be both.
I don't think it'll be both. I think it will be... no, I don't think it'll be both. I think that's a bit too defensive. I think he's going to go for it on the weekend.
So we're going to put Bissouma at the base, take Bentancur out the firing line. So then the question is, does Maddison come back into the team? Is Decky going to be in the middle? Sarr and Bergvall, what are we doing with them? So it's a lot of options. I kind of feel Decky will be on the right, so I don't think he'll be, because I think he's going to take more out of the firing line.
Probably, which is a bit of a shame because Decky is just like... He's just not at the races, really, but he's still one of our better players. That's the reality. If it was up to me, I probably wouldn't start Decky at all in this game and just give him a few minutes at the end, 20 minutes at the end. But I don't think Ange's going to do that because he's definitely going to play Decky, and I think it'll probably... I agree with you. It'll probably be on the right.
I think we're probably 1 week away from seeing Decky back in the middle with Brendan on the right.
Is it too soon to bring Maddison back in, though?
Potentially, but I'll just get a quote from where was the quote I saw on Maddison. He said that he is definitely in with a chance of starting because he's played less.
He said that for a doggy as well, didn't he?
He said, where did he say on Maddison? He did say the original plan was next week for Maddison, but he's ahead of schedule for Madders. But he also said he's been out for less time than the others, so he could be in line to start. Doggy could also start, to be honest. Madders. I'm trying to get the direct quote. I can't remember where I saw it. Anyway, is it too early for Maddison to start? I mean, maybe you can give him an hour. I feel like he's going to want to bring... He's bringing Vicario in. I think he's probably going to... I don't know. It's difficult. I feel like he will start him. I've just got this feeling he's going to start him in there for an hour.
Let's put Maddison in the 10. But then it brings the question, who's going to play the 8 or the box-to-box, or is it going to be a double pivot alongside Bissouma? Who's going to play that position? Is it going to... Basically, I think it's going to be between Bergvall and Sarr.
Yeah. Bergvall, Sarr, or Bentancur even. But I think... Who started on the weekend? It was it was Bentancur, Bergvall, and Sarr, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then he brought on Bissouma.
Yeah.
God, it's difficult.
Bentancur, Bergvall. It was Bentancur, Bergvall, Kulusevski, wasn't it? In the middle
Decky
time.
started in the middle, didn't he? And Moore was out wide.
So it'll probably be Sarr, because Sarr didn't play on the weekend or didn't start on the weekend. And Bergvall obviously has played so many minutes. I'll probably say it's Sarr.
All right, we'll go with Sarr then. Sarr, Bissouma, Maddison. Again, that trusted midfield three.
That's the trio from the first 10 games of the season that hasn't recaptured that form since any time they've been together.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then...
Put them up.
So, I mean, we have... it means we'll have Bergval, Bentancur on the bench.
Bergval and Bentancur on the bench, yeah.
Yeah. So we're thinking on the right, it'll probably be Decky here. And then we're hoping, he read it differently last time. I think he's going to put Son back out on the left.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to put Matisse Tell in the forward line.
I really hope he does do this, because it did look a lot better once Tell went into striker and Son back out on the left. I think it was a mistake from him to play Tell on the left and Son up front. So it'll be interesting dynamic as well, because Tell obviously, Paul O'Keefe and other journalists says that Tell wanted the Manchester United move. Man United and Bayern Munich couldn't agree a deal together. And now, in his first Premier League game, he's lining up against Manchester United.
Yeah, 100%. That was definitely going to be interesting. But I think Ange would have seen the effect that Tell had when he moved to striker, I hope, and he got the goal.
Brilliant finish.
Great finish. And I think Son's obviously more comfortable on the left as well. So I think he will change it and we'll put Tell up front. And obviously, when you look at our bench options now, if this is our starting 11, we're going to have the likes of Udogie, Bentancur, Bergval, Mikey Moore, even Dane Scarlett, Ben Davis, all on the bench. Potentially as well, if we're lucky, maybe a Brennan or another one of those, but probably not. So all of a sudden, the bench is going to look a lot healthier. Yeah, which is really, really encouraging.
Very positive. Let's just hope that none of these players do a reoccurrence of the injury like we've seen many a time this season.
Yeah, he's going to have to manage the situation. Also, we're saying Gray's going to be on the bench as well. So there's also another one, Archie Gray. So that's nearly, all of a sudden, that's like 7-8 players. Nearly a full bench we're looking at. So that's really
not so
great.
much of a crash anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really, really exciting to actually have options. So you can make 5 subs and all these things. So he has to manage it. He has to make sure if anyone is even getting a hint of an injury, he takes them off and looks after them. But all of a sudden, I'm excited about the squad we're going to have.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's run through that lineup with you guys one more time. Bless you. Vicario in goal, Porro right back, Jed Spence at left back, a back two of Danso and Davis, Bissouma, Sarr and Maddison in the midfield with Decky on the right, Sonny on the left and Matisse Tell up top. What's your score prediction?
I am going for 3-1 to Tottenham.
3-1 Spurs?
Yeah, and 3-1 Spurs. I think Man United is... I know we're a best as well, but I think they're obviously still quite early on in his tenure. They're still not quite at that organised level. We've had first week break in a while. I think these new players are going to give us a bit of a shot on the arm when it comes to a bit of intensity and energy. I think our forward line, we have more guns, bullets in our gun than Man United do right now as well. So I think we're going to take the game away from them and we're going to win the game 3-1. But I do see them still having moments and chances.
Yeah, for me, I'm going 2-1 to Spurs. I feel like we're going to come out at a kind of like a million miles an hour with the rejuvenation of the squad a bit, with a few of the injured players coming back. I feel that after seeing the lineup when it's announced and some of these guys are in there, I think the fans are going to get a bit of a boost and a lift as well. So I feel like we could start the game really fast, and I feel like we will go and take the lead early. Maybe 1-0, maybe 2-0 towards the start of the second half. But then I feel kind of, as the game progresses, I feel like Man United might get a foothold in the game and might start fighting back. And I feel like they'll get a goal, but I think we'll just about win the game. And I think it could be a bit hairy towards the end of it, but I think we'll get over the line and get the 3 points, and a much needed 3 points.
And you're thinking about the bench we're likely to have in this game compared to like United, like. The United, especially the forward line, if they're going to start the likes of Garnacho, Diallo, Xerxes, I mean, what else do they really have to change it? They got maybe Højlund, who not much. And like we hopefully will have a few other, I guess in the forward line, who do we have to change it?
Trying to see what Man United's bench was against Leicester.
We'll have Scarlett, I guess Bergval. I guess we actually don't have too many options.
Garnacho, Eriksson, De Ligt, Casemiro, Lindelof and Xerxes. That was their bench against Leicester.
Yeah, but we're saying Xerxes and Garnacho might start.
So the players that they come in for will be Højlund and don't know who else.
I guess maybe Mainu will play actually, so maybe one of the players won't start. Yeah, I think hopefully we're going to have some more players off the bench to make a difference. But yeah, all right. Before we end,